Hey guys, it's Ellen here, and today's Monday, and it's Mindy Monday Madness, and we're painting another lighthouse. This is a lighthouse from Maine, Lubec, Maine, called the West Quaddy Headlight. I go everything by step. If you're a Patreon member, you can download the traceable, but I teach you guys how to draw this, and I actually attach a reference photo for you to look at. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon right there. Where I have traceables, ad-free videos, and exclusive tutorials there on Thursday. So without further ado, let's get painting. Okay, to go to start, I'll just go over some of my supplies that I have. I have a piece of Arch 100% cotton cold pressed paper. It's a 3-inch square. My palette, my paints, I'm going to try and work with just 3 colors, which is Cadmium Yellow Deep, quinachrdone Magenta, and either Prussian Blue or Peacock Blue, one of the two. Water jars, paper towels close by. I'll be using my Princeton, probably my 4, my 6, and my 8, maybe mostly my 8 and my 4. Velvet Touch Series brush. If you're a Patreon member, you can download the traceable. If not, I'll show you how to draw draw the lighthouse that I drew. I'll attach I'll attach a reference photo. This is the lighthouse, the West Quaddy headlight in Lubec, Maine. It's like a pretty red and white striped house. There's different skies, you can do just a blue sky going across. You can add some clouds. These ones have nice shadows from the sun coming this way. There's a bigger house that goes with this, but I just like the snippet of the lighthouse with the water close by. So I'll show you what I did. I have another Lighthouse Mini Monday. I'll have that in the attachment. But basically, you're making, for Lighthouse, you're making a line kind of going down at an angle this way and this way, right? And then you're going to curve that way for like the border of where the railing is, right? And then you're going to go up again here, straight, and curve again for this, for the black part here. And then again for where the actual light part is. It has this curved roof, right? And then you're just making a little ball here and the lines here. And then you got the house that kind of cuts into the lighthouse here. So basically, you just do your rectangle shape here, right? Let me zoom in a little bit better so you can see. But then you're making a triangle for the roof, right? And you're going across the side here like this. And that is your little house that goes with it. And you get your window. And there's like a little cut off of another house. That's the bigger house attached here. So basically, right here, we're going to kind of cut off rectangle shape. A little bit longer, kind of at an angle. And there, you see this? This is the, kind of like the picture. And then, well, it's a little bit down here. And then I have like, it's on the hill. Background is here, is the ocean. There's another little hill here. And there's like a little mountainous area back here. And of course here, I'm drawing it, but you're just going to be painting in the red and white stripes. And then you have your lighthouse. And then you can create any kind of background, sky you want. There's so many different skies. They had cloudy ones, blue ones. I don't know. I might make a combination of the two. Moving that picture. And there's that little sketch right in there. Well, zoom in. So I sketched out all the little lines I want to paint for red, but the house is white. Like I said, we're going to use a gray tone. That I have a bunch of those ink and wash tutorials. That would be great in this scenario if you're very skittish about painting everything. You basically want to do something like that. So you can start off many different ways. Since the red is kind of stronger, and we have the white right here, we can start to put in like a nice pretty gray tones. You can make grays in separate ways. You can use the same 3 colors. So I have magenta, right? I'll put in this palette area right here. The yellow, clean off my brush, add some yellow, it's like 50-50, and add some Prussian blue. You see it's kind of like a purple gray. Add a touch more yellow. It's always good to test it out on a scrap. I have a bunch of scraps over here. Let's see if you like it. So it's looking like a brown. I might add a little more blue. That's, you know, you just keep playing around until you get that tonality you're looking for. And a gray tone. So it's like bluish purple gray. Might add a little more blue. If you have it like a Paynes gray, just use that. That works for you. See, I'm going to just keep playing. This is how you play around with mixing the colors. Again, see, it's purple. The purple and yellow are going to make it brown. And a little more blue. And a little bit of yellow. See, that's greenish. And you get the green and then the red. It's going to be brown. This is how you keep doing this. So you get the grays. And that's a nice gray. So only need a little bit. Can zoom in a little bit more. Let's see. There we go. Oop. Sorry. So I'm just going to put a light hint of gray on the side here. I always see it's kind of got a little bit of water on it. I'll tap it on the paper towel. Just kind of push it down like that. Oops. Don't want that there. Just on that side, right? And we can build up this whole area. This is going to be black up in here, blackish gray. Could just fill that in, and then the bottom one too. And then the house roof, I'm going to have some gray on this, just right under here and here. I have mine having sunshine. I have a different reference, but similar to the one you have here. So I'm going to put gray here and under the roof here, and under the roof there. And you can get a little bit darker, but pretty much that's it. I'm going to put a little bit more color here. Okay, so we have a wash of like a pale gray in there. We can't put the red stripes in here until that's dry, so we can start to play around with the rest of the stuff. So the sky and the water here. Again, I have my Prussian blue, right? I'll add a tinge of magenta. It will make kind of like an ultramarine color. See? And again, you test it on your little strip. It's like a nice bright blue, right? So the water could be darker or lighter, but generally up in Maine, it's not going to be light. You know, I live in Massachusetts, so I'm going to put that nice deep blue in that water. You can put some white in there if you want to. I'll probably add more darker tones. And the water up here in New England is not like Florida or the Caribbean. So I'll just put a wash of that color in here. Now, you can use this color again for the sky, because some of those references I showed you have this bright blue sky. So I'm just going to take that blue, kind of just wiggle that wash around. See? On the same. I'm using Princeton 8 long round. I'm sorry if I didn't tell you that. See how I'm just kind of leaving some white space and washing it like this, and going like this. And so the white part is the clouds that you see. Just really simple wash. Gets a little too watery and you want the edges not to be so intense. You just kind of like move the paint around like this. Okay, so you just move that around. Another way to do it is you can paint the whole thing blue, and you can use a paper towel to lift it up for clouds. So this got little funky, little wiggly edges on mine. Just going in here and adding some nice blues, a little bit darker. Just playing around with this. Like I said, it doesn't have to be this, it could just be a lot of like blue washing through. And it's kind of just like one note, so I'm going to go back in again. Okay, I'm going to get the Prussian blue, magenta, Prussian blue, and just put it in some deeper colors. That's a little too dark. Clean up my brush. I'll have to move that around. So you want a variety of the blues. Really watered down blue, then add in a little bit darker blue. different value. It's just a touch darker. And I might put some blue down in here. There's like a landmass right here. See, I'm just playing around putting the clouds in. I'm making up my own kind of cloud. I think anybody can do that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Kind of going around the lighthouse like this. So if you put in too much blue and you don't like it, you just take a paper towel and you lift up the paint. Or you can do it with a brush. Going back in and adding some darker blue. See how I just kind of tap that in here, up on the edge. Where it dried here, because I took the paint away with the paper towel, I'll just go back in and I'll add some water. Again, we're going to see it's still damp over here. I'm just going to go in here and tap in some darker blue. This is very loose, simple. Like, I'm sorry, not simple. Some people might not say it's simple, but it's very just loose style. You don't need to get serious. Just taking the brush and just kind of tapping in the color. So I've kind of created a cloud that kind of goes like that without even realizing it. But that's just fine. Just kind of tapping in some darker tones here. You just keep doing that until you feel like, okay, I like the way it looks. What's a good thing is to step back and look at it. It's kind of difficult to see if you like something when you're sitting right in front of it. You step back, stand up from the chair, and that's how you see it. So I'm adding in some more of that. And a little bit darker down here. I just want it really loose. That's how I want to do it. And I just keep going in, kind of tapping in some darker tones right up in here. The different varieties of tonality is going to make it seem like more like natural looking sky. There. Now the ocean part, go back in and grab my Prussian blue. I wanted to pick it magenta again to make it more of that ultramarine kind of blue. And I've watered it down a little bit. And I'll go back in. And I'll just take the tip, see I'm washed some of it off. And just go in here and make these little lines. First I'll make the one that goes straight across. And then I'll just go in here, keeping that blue we had in before. Now that it's pale, I just go in here and add this darker blue tone. Remember, New England water is not aqua. I'm going in and adding even darker still. Right there. Color we mixed even darker. Different tonalities. Voila. You want it darker than the sky. That's kind of how we want to go. All right, down here, we've done the blue, so we don't have to really worry about the blue so much. We can take the same blue, take our Cadmium Yellow deep, and just mix it right in there. If that green is an ugly green to you, you don't like it, I suggest if you're going to do another blue green that you like, take the Cadmium Yellow deep and maybe peacock blue as a bright green. I'll put both blues reference on the page. So it makes like a brighter blue because peacock is almost like a turquoisey bright blue. So you get this nice yellowish green blue. Yellow green, greenish blue. I'm losing it. I'm always losing it when I talk to you guys. I'm just going to put that color in right in here for the grass. Really kind of making this very bright and bold. I want this particular one to be bright and bold. It does have some like little dark green foliage here, so you can go in and take some Prussian blue at this point and add that in, the Cadmium Yellow deep, and a little magenta. Just a tip. See, I'm just taking the tip of my brush and adding tip. Okay, I'll just go like a little bit. See, just a touch. Just a touch of yellow. Just a touch of a blue. And you get that dark green. And you can kind of just tap that in here on the edge. There's like a little green tree here. One of the pictures. You put that in there. We have the background here of the not mountain, but landmass that's in the background. I'm adding a little more brighter yellow to this. I want that green to be a little bit brighter in the peacock. But it's a little landmass back here, so we're just going to go in here with that green and put that back here. If you want to get a little darker, I'll add a little more blue to it. That Prussian blue is a nice deep blue. Get a little bit darker. But there's a landmass back here. Getting a little darker in here. Just a touch of green, darker green right in here. Because there's a little shadow on the sun. And a little one in here. Look at that. All right, let's make some red. I like to make red, as you can see in many of my videos. Obviously yellow. It's cadmium yellow deep. And the magenta. Make a nice bright red. Look at that. It's very pretty. Now, if I'm using this brush and this tip, it's going to be a little goofy because it's kind of clunkier. If I want it to be a little more detailed, I'm going to grab my number 4 brush and then I'm going to go in and start painting all my little stripes that I put in. You get a lot of control, but it's going to take you, it's a lot slower with this brush. Somehow I'm not going off my pencil lines, but that's okay. You get the point. So as we're putting that color down, right? It's very bright. We need to have a color shading on the sides to make it look like it's 3D. We did have the gray, but it kind of washed out. So we can take that red over here. We're going to make it darker. So I get the magenta again. Minimal water, yellow, just a bright red. You can add a teeny bit of the Prussian blue, and you get this nice deeper burgundy red. Teeny bit. My brush is tiny, so I added a teeny bit. While this is still a little bit wet, you add that darker color just on the edge, on the sides. And it looks a little more three-dimensional, you know? At this point, see how that gray washed out? I'm going to just go ahead. I have another gray over here. Add some gray, blue. Going to go back in and add some, cleaning off my brush. Sorry, guys. You just want to go back in. If you notice this before, ahead of time, just a little bit darker gray before you paint that red stripe. Okay, and that will dry and we'll paint that. Meanwhile, the roof here is like a deep terracotta. So I'm going to just save my red. I'm going to go up here and do the part that we haven't done, the roof, the little red roof. We'll start working on that, and then we'll work on the terracotta roofs. I want to kind of keep saving my red to paint the rest of the stripes. So just going to take the red and fill in that little roof. It has that little ball on top. It's almost like a little hat, right? This brush is small and tiny, so you have a nice control of it. At this point, you grab your Paynes gray, and you make the little lines that go down here, kind of filling in that part. This is the way the light would be. And here's that balcony area where the railing would be, and that's pretty much a dark gray. So I'm just going to put in my Paynes gray. It's almost going to look black in a way. Just fill that in. See that? Same thing kind of in the roof. Little gray in here. You know, if this is a tiny little picture, so don't expect to be perfect on this tiny little picture. Going in that darker color here. Just add that gray. And again, so we're going to add a little bit deeper gray here. And that roof line. And it's basically going to outline that roof. See how I just did that? In the window. Pale gray. We can go in with some gouache or a gel pen and add in the white Paynes. But right now we're just going to put in that gray. The house under here. It's kind of like drawing it with the paintbrush. Got that gray, deep gray like Paynes gray. Draw down here. See, here and here. Starting to come together, right? And the roof line right here. You can get even a little bit darker right in here. Because don't forget, watercolor washes really light. I mean, excuse me, dries really light. Oh, goodness. I don't know who I am anymore. Go and get an edge here. And again, I'm still adding in some darker gray right here. Because the shadows from the lighthouse. The sun's coming this way. This gray is dried. I'm going to get it more intense, less water. Put the line going across here, here. This is how we kind of do this. Line here. Fill that in. Same thing with this underneath part here, where the railing is. We're getting there, right? It's looking like a realistic lighthouse. And then you get even darker, almost like a black color, and you put this little railing in here. Same thing here. Just a little bit. That's why this brush is great. This little teeny 4. Just kind of outlining your little house. If you can, make the little teeny slats of the siding. It might seem painful to do this, but nice little details are always good to go. Just little slats going horizontal for the siding of the house. Voila. So at this point, my gray should have dried, and I'll go back in, and I'll just fill in all the red that I didn't do. Just like that. I won't bore you with me painting that. I'll just go back up in here. This red is already washed out a little bit. I want it kind of bright. I'm going to fill that in. The terracotta roof. So basically the red that you have, right? You can mix that, even that burgundy color that you have. Grab that yellow. And you've got that, it's like an orange color, orange-red color. You can always test it on your strip. See? Perfect. So it's like a terracotta red roof. And you just fill that in here. And here. The lighthouse should be brighter than this color. This color is like a dull orangey red. And we're going to have to let that dry along with the other stuff, and we'll come back and we'll add some shadows. Alright, so I filled in the rest of my stripes. I add another shade of gray here and in here and here a little bit more. And then we're going to take that terracotta roof. It needs like a little shade. Grab the little dark color we made. I'm just going to grab some of this burgundy kind of color here. Just put a little shadow up here on the roof from the lighthouse, touching it, and down over in here. See that? And that's pretty much it. Like, you can go in and add the window pane. Like I said, it's really teeny detail. So it might be harder to get, I'll grab some gouache here. A gel pen because it's going to look thicker. I'll just grab a teeny bit of my gouache. See? Look at the side of my palette. It's disgustingly messy, but I love it. Because this brush tip is great. So you're going to get this gouache. Just a little bit on your tip. And you're going to make those little window panes. Crisscross. Right? And that, my friends, is our lighthouse. Now you could take that same white gouache if you want to add some little white caps. If yours got like washed out, you can add little white caps. It's a stormy, because it looks kind of stormy, right? And little highlights up on here. You know. You can put a little white next to each little railing because it shows up better that way. Doesn't really matter. So pretty much that's it. So just zoom back on. Oh, and I taped, excuse me, I never told you guys this. I never mentioned, but I always tell you, all my mini Mondays sometimes when I tape them, I use Scotch tapes and tape mine down. It rips up the cardboard, but who cares about the cardboard? I like the way it holds it down. So there we go. Another lighthouse mini Monday madness. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I think it was a lot of fun. And yeah, you know, you can do a collection of lighthouses. Pick some lighthouses out from all over the places that you maybe travel to. And that would be great. Get mini frames and you can put them all on your wall. Or give it to somebody who loves the beach. You know, give them like 4 of them framed. That'd be kind of cute. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I have exclusive tutorials there on Thursdays with traceables and ad-free videos. And the traceable for this is over there as well. And yeah, oh guys, check out my other channel. I have this acrylic channel called Amazing Art. I haven't uploading too many things on it lately, but I'm trying to. There's a link in the description box as well. Thank you guys so much. Take care, and I will speak to you soon.